The woman in the road was crying before Hannah ever saw her face. It was 1:17 in the morning and Hannah was driving through the empty stretch of Route 6 that everyone in town hated. No houses, no gas stations, no shoulder lights, just 2 lanes of cracked pavement cutting through open fields and dark tree lines. She had stayed late at her aunt's house helping clean after a family dinner, and now she was tired, annoyed, and trying to get home before the fog rolled in. That was when she saw the woman. At first she looked like a pale shape near the yellow lines. Then Hannah's headlights hit her fully. She was standing barefoot in the road, soaked from the mist, wearing a long grey sweater that hung off one shoulder. Her hair was stuck to her face. Her hands were raised like she wanted Hannah to stop. Hannah slammed the brakes. The car skidded a few feet before stopping maybe 10 yards away. For a second nobody moved. Then the woman stumbled toward her driver's side window, crying so hard she could barely breathe. "Please," she said through the glass. "Please help me." Hannah did not unlock the door. She cracked the window only an inch. What happened? The woman looked behind her into the dark road. "He's coming," she whispered. Hannah's stomach tightened. "Who?" The woman shook her head. I got out of the car. Please just let me in." Hannah looked past her. There were no headlights behind them. No parked car. No person in the road. Only darkness and fog. Her first instinct was to help. Everything in her wanted to. This woman looked terrified, freezing, and alone. But something felt wrong. She was not looking at Hannah like someone begging for help. She was looking past her, into the back seat. Hannah glanced in the rearview mirror. Empty. The woman slapped one palm against the window. "Open the door." Hannah jumped. "I can call 911, she said. "Say right there." The woman's face changed. Not completely. Just enough. The crying stopped too fast. Her mouth stayed open but no sound came out. Then she whispered, "Don't call them." Hannah's hand moved toward the gear shift. The woman saw it. She slammed both hands against the window so hard the glass rattled. "Don't leave me." Hannah hit the lock button again just to make sure every door was locked. Then she put the car in drive. The woman stepped directly in front of the hood. Hannah froze. The woman stood in the headlights, breathing hard, staring at her through the windshield. Then she slowly smiled. Not big. Not crazy. Just a small smile. Like Hannah had finally understood the game. A sound came from underneath the car. A metallic scrape. Hannah stopped breathing. It came again. Right below her feet. Something dragged across the underside of the car. The woman in front of her tilted her head. Then Hannah heard a man's voice from under the floorboard. "Turn it off." Hannah screamed and slammed the gas. The car lurched forward. The woman dove out of the way. Something thudded under the car, then scraped hard against the pavement. Hannah felt the steering wheel jerk. The car swerved, but she kept going. In the rearview mirror, the woman was already standing again. And now there were headlights behind her. A black SUV pulled out from the tree line with its lights off at first, then snapped them on. Hannah realized it had been parked there the whole time. Hidden. Waiting. Their phone sat in the cup holder. No service. Of course. The road curved ahead and Hannah took it too fast. Her tires screamed over wet pavement. In the mirror, the SUV followed. Then the scraping under her car came back. Something was still underneath. Hannah looked down at the pedals and saw mud on the floor mat. Fresh mud. A hand reached up from below the dashboard. Not through the floor. From the passenger's side footwell. There was a gap under the glove box where the plastic panel had come loose months ago. She had meant to get it fixed. Fingers curled around the edge. Hannah screamed again and kicked at them. The hand pulled back. Then a man laughed from somewhere low inside the car. Not under it anymore. Beside. Hannah realized what had happened. When she stopped for the woman, someone had crawled under the rear of her car. Or maybe he had been waiting under it before she even saw her. He had grabbed onto something beneath the frame, then pulled himself through the loose panel near the passenger floor while she was distracted. The woman had not needed Hannah to open the door. She only needed her to stop. The SUV behind her flashed its headlights. Once. Twice. Then it surged closer. Hannah drove faster. The speedometer hit 70. Then 80. The road was too narrow for that, but she knew if she slowed down, the man inside the car would reach her. The hand came out again. This time holding something. A strip of cloth. He whipped it toward the steering wheel, trying to tangle it around her wrist. Hannah jerked away and nearly left the road. She grabbed the cloth and pulled as hard as she could. A man's shoulder slammed into the underside of the dashboard. He grunted. Hannah saw part of his face now. Dirty. Thin. One eye visible in the darkness below the glove box. He was squeezed into the passenger footwell, halfway hidden behind the loose plastic, twisted in a way that looked impossible. He smelled like mud, sweat, and gasoline. "Stop the car," he whispered. Hannah did not answer. She reached blindly for anything she could use. Her fingers found the metal travel mug in the cup holder. She swung it downward as hard as she could. It connected with his hand. He cursed and pulled back. The road straightened. Ahead, Hannah saw a green sign. Bridge out 3 miles. Her heart dropped. This road dead-ended at an old bridge that had been closed for repairs for months. She had forgotten because she rarely came this way. The SUV behind her knew. That was why they wanted her on this road. They were not chasing her randomly. They were guiding her somewhere she would have to stop. The man below the dashboard began moving again. She heard plastic snapping. He was forcing his way out. Hannah slammed the brakes. The SUV behind her almost hit her, swerved left, then right. The man in the footwell slid forward hard and hit the center console. Hannah grabbed her keys and opened the door before the car had fully stopped. She jumped out and ran. The road was empty except for her car, the SUV, and the fog. The SUV's doors opened. 2 men stepped out. The crying woman got out from the passenger side. She was not crying anymore. Hannah ran into the field beside the road. Wet grass whipped against her legs. Mud swallowed her shoes. Behind her, someone shouted, "Don't run that way." That made her run faster. She expected them to chase loudly. They didn't. That scared her more. Their footsteps were steady behind her, calm and spaced out, like they already knew the field. Like they had done this before. Hannah saw a barn ahead. Old. Dark. Half elapsed. She ran toward it because it was the only cover she could see. Inside, the air smelled like hay and rotting wood. Moonlight slipped through broken boards. She ducked behind an old tractor and tried to breathe without sound. Outside, footsteps entered the mud near the doorway. Then the woman's voice called softly, "Hannah." Hannah's blood went cold. She had never told them her name. The woman called again. "Hannah, you're making this worse." Hannah covered her mouth. The man from under her dashboard stepped inside the barn. She could hear him breathing. He moved slowly past the tractor, dragging one foot slightly. The travel mug must have hurt him. He stopped maybe 6 feet from where she was hiding. Then he said, "She still has her keys." The woman answered from outside. "Then she's going to try to go back." Hannah looked down. Her keys were still in her hand. She had not even realized she was holding them. Then her car alarm went off. Loud. Sharp. Cutting through the field. Everyone outside turned toward the road. Hannah had squeezed the panic button by accident. For 1 second, nobody moved. Then Hannah ran. She burst out of the back of the barn and sprinted toward the tree line. Branches tore at her arms. The alarm kept screaming behind her, giving her something to run away from. She found a shallow ditch and crawled into it, lying flat in cold water and weeds. Flashlights swept the field. One beam crossed over her and moved away. The woman was angry now. "Find her," she snapped. Hannah stayed still until her teeth chattered. Then she heard something else. A truck engine. Not the SUV. Something bigger. Coming from the road. The spotlight swept across the field, then stopped on the barn. A man's voice shouted, "Sheriff's office." The flashlights scattered. The SUV engine roared. Hannah lifted her head just enough to see the black SUV spin around on the road and speed away, leaving her car door open and the alarm still screaming. She stood and waved both arms. The deputy found her shaking in the ditch, covered in mud, still holding her keys. He wrapped her in a blanket and took her back to the road. Her car looked normal from the outside. That made it worse. The deputy opened the passenger door and shined his light inside. The glovebox panel was ripped away. Mud streaked across the floor. There were finger marks under the dashboard. And tucked behind the loose plastic panel was a small black radio. Not hers. The deputy's face changed. He called for backup. When more officers arrived, they searched the area. They found tire tracks where the SUV had hidden in the trees. They found footprints near the spot where the crying woman had stood. They found a piece of fabric caught under Hannah's car. And near the broken bridge 3 miles ahead, they found fresh drag marks leading from the road into the woods. But they did not find the 3 people. 2 days later, police told Hannah they believed the group had done it before. A woman in the road. A hidden vehicle. Someone under or inside the victim's car. A dead-end road. No service. No witnesses. Most people stopped because they thought they were helping. Some were never found. One missing driver's car had been discovered near that same closed bridge 6 months earlier, doors opened, keys still in the ignition. The official report had said she walked away. Now nobody believed that. Hannah sold her car after the investigation. She could not sit in it again. The loose panel under the glove box was fixed by police before they released it, but she still saw the man's eye every time she looked at the passenger floor. She stopped taking back roads. She stopped driving at night. And she never stopped for anyone standing in the middle of the road anymore. She calls 911 from a distance, then keeps driving. Because she knows some people do not need you to unlock your door. They only need you to slow down. So if you saw someone crying in the road at night, would you stop to help? Or keep driving until you had service?